Everyone, it's your boy Matt, coming to you from around approximately A block in the Ainsley village. And this video, this goes out to three very close and important three people to me. I call these three people the Three Stooges. They're a group of three eccentric and unique individuals. I wouldn't say unique actually, but very common people. People who are not the kind of people who would ever be in an A block or an A league or an A division, right? And that's what frustrates them, because to them there is a feeling of internalized inferiority, and it's frustrating because I do not fucking believe in hierarchy in that way, right? Hierarchy does, of course, affect our biology. Of course, hierarchy is something which is internalized and intrinsic to the human experience, but it's something which I, encourage people to have an ironic distance towards. If these three gentlemen, there is a requirement to be at the top of a pyramid, they see me at the top of it, and they need to reinterpret the world and reinterpret things such that they are there. Now, these three gentlemen are Donald Macaskill, Jack, and I suppose Theo Aliku. However, Theo's, I think, kind of spaced out a bit and has more accepted that he may have made some quite significant mistakes. And I feel a little bit bad almost tacking him onto this list. But the other gentlemen, Jack and fucking Donald Macaskill, complete fucking jackasses. You notice how it's in this list? Even with all the fucking beef and I've asked that Michael Armstrong go to prison, he's not on that list. The reason why is because he at least has a little bit of some sense regarding these things. But those two gentlemen have issues with this problem. And what I'm requesting is for them to find their own fucking lane and drive in it. Right? You're not in the A-leagues, gentlemen. You don't need to be. Not everyone is. Right? And it's not a case of being arrogant about it. Like, I have a lot of practical skills I could fucking develop, but these two fucksticks keep fucking thinking they have anything useful to say or are capable of engaging in dialogue, or think that they're in the same game. And when I say these things, it's not coming from just a place of a little bit of arrogance. It's coming from a place of sincere frustration. Because the same way, if you're a boss or a manager and you have an employee who is causing you problems, like they just can't perform, they can't do something, and you're constantly having to adjust their behavior, you have to kind of explain it to them. It's like that with these two gentlemen, except they're too stupid to realize that they are stupid, and it's this never-ending fucking thing with these guys, because it's okay to be at a different level. It's okay to have your lane. Everyone has their niche. Everyone has a different set of skills. Fucking enjoy yours. But these two fucking shits. Okay, first of all, Jack. Jack was in the army for a little bit. Jack is the most unremarkable person I have met. Right? Actually, no. He's the most arrogant, unremarkable person I have met. And it's okay to be unremarkable. Most of me is quite unremarkable. On a scale of 1 to 10 for attractiveness, I'm probably a 4. Some parts of my experience of what I look like, it might be above that. I've got this. It's this very small part of me which is remarkable, okay? And that small part of me which is remarkable allows me to do this shit, okay? It's this small part, characteristics, and I found a niche where that worked really well, all right? So for these gentlemen, for Jack in particular, because what I'd really like is for him to just be happy in his life and not feel the need to be involved in mine, because he can be. And the reality is, Everyone fucking has the parts of themselves which are a little bit below average and a bit above average, and the best life skill you can have is finding a way to find the parts of you which are above average, which you can and find a niche where you can apply that shit. And Jack, fucking find it, because this isn't you. You are not me. You could never be me, and that's okay. I've said it before. I am not you. I'm very glad I'm not you. And this constant fucking thing where this shit stain is comparing himself to me isn't appropriate. Okay? It's like having like a really young brother, but it's except it's, and like they're like, I don't know, a decade younger than you, and they're constantly trying to do what you're doing, right? That's the difference in development and maturity between the two of us. And it's getting quite, it's just really annoying, this guy trying to constantly latch on and like compare himself, or make him, like, if he wants to model himself off me and like, you know, see what I'm doing well and look how he can implement it, go for it, by all means. But we are so fundamentally different people that it's not useful for him, and it creates frustrations for me. And what I have to do with, I'm saying this because I'm constantly getting these messages from Jack. His real name's Jake, saying like, oh, saying like, oh no, he's stopped doing this and now he's defeated, or like, oh no, hey Matt, like, you know, I reckon one day I could beat you in an MMA fight, and just weird shit like this. It's toxic masculinity, brother. You are so toxic, like, you are toxically ingrained in a fucking ideology, and you lack an ironic distance. It's totally fine to engage with your beliefs and ideological systems. It's great that this person is a strong patriot. He's a big fan of One Nation. I really align with that party, but he really cares about his country. He really cares about the military, and he's tried, and he's done and like, you know, he loves this shit. He's too stupid to be able to figure out how to change it for the better and figure out what's a shit idea and what's a good one. And watching me fucking walk past him and fucking rearrange his home and renovate it as someone who isn't part of his culture. Well, I am part of his culture. As someone who isn't a deranged piece of shit, is something which is a new experience for him. Now, Jack, have a fucking great life, but you need to fucking pull your head in and do your own thing. If I could say anything to my enemies who are kind of jealous or are envious of my success, what I would say is that what you can do is you can look at yourself, and I'm saying it again, see the parts of yourself which are above average, right? And find a niche where those things which are above average is going to pay out well for you, okay? Because there are so many things that I'm shit at, right? I found something which I found, like, you know, I found a niche, okay? There are niches. You can find one, Jack. It's just not this one. You're not an intellectual. You never could be. That's fine. And your ability to understand politics in the world is not fantastic. Go and fucking enjoy beers with your mates. Have a good laugh with your friends. Enjoy your job. Enjoy your wife. And stop fucking with me. Now, the other person in that list is Donald Macaskill. Now, Donald Macaskill is again this blowhard fuckwit. Donald Macaskill thinks that I stole money from him. Donald Macaskill is a con man, and if you ever work for a con man, you're in a difficult situation, because if you're working for him, you're stealing money, and if you're working for a deranged narcissistic moron like Donald, you're going to have a situation where when you fucking leave that, he's going to try and make you stay, because he doesn't understand how much of a blowhard fuckwit he is. He says he kept saying he'd been doing positive behavior support for 30 years. PBS hasn't been around in this form in Australia for 30 years. He wasn't registered in the ABA, so that wasn't true. He wasn't, which is the American version. If he has been a community leader, he's done a shit job of it. He is just so pathologically narcissistic, and he's autistic as well. And as an autist, I don't necessarily hold that against him. What I hold against him is his lack of self-awareness. And if you're engaged in this kind of community, like a psychological work, you need to know that. You need to have that. And it's just a real fucking problem when we have community leaders like him. And the issue is that we there's a requirement for leadership in community. He's Indigenous, so there's even more of a requirement for it. And the frustration with Indigenous leadership is that a lot of them, the secret is, it's the open secret is that a lot of Indigenous leaders and elders are terrible people. The same way the leaders in other communities, in every community, those positions attract narcissistic people. It's the same with this. And it's not that narcissism isn't a motivation which can lead to good community leadership. If you want to be loved, this is a good role for it. Like I enjoy being cared for. I do like feeling special. Having the limelight is something which I chase and enjoy. All right? And it's not as if when we say these nasty things about politicians and leaders, you need to remember that this is a really fucking difficult job, and if there isn't some part of it that you like, then how the fuck are you going to be able to keep doing it, right? So there's that, right? The problem is that you need to be able to separate your own and understand how you function, and be able to orientate yourself in your work that way as you're doing it. And this blowhard fuckwit, this narcissistic moron, right? The bizarre shit I've had to deal with from him, and his continued need to latch onto my work is just so fucking disgusting to me. And the fact that he compares himself to me, or comments on it, or thinks he is close to anything like me, it's insulting the comparison. And it's not just because there's, like, we might be different things, right? It's that with what I do is benevolent. I'm oriented towards good things, and I have the fucking self-awareness and emotional intelligence to understand how I work and understand how things around me work. This guy has none of that. He has fucking none of that. And he's actually a person who I'd describe as dangerous in any community leadership position. And I know he comments on my videos and does fucking shit like that. It's weird, mate. Get your own fucking lane. Now, finally, of course, we've got Theo Aliku. And it's the same bloody thing, which I made a video recently about how where we are in society, like, people are always trying to orientate themselves based on other people, and to make themselves feel good, they need other people to be lower than them. And Theo has been that to the extreme. It's been fucking hilarious at times, and he's kind of shut off about it. But what I found most sinister, and I'm adding extra names to this list, is how these kind of shit fucks, they always end up gathering together. And the reason why is because personalities like this kind of get around each other. If you are this kind of shitty person, like who enjoys this kind of behavior, and you're gonna find other shitty people with similar personality characteristics, and you're all gonna fucking clump together, right? And I've had to deal with that, particularly when I had issues with, unfortunately, my former divisional officer, Stephen Cole. He's had some issues. He does try and do good things, though, and he's more intelligent than any of these shits. And when him and Donald Macaskill at a time were in communication with each other, and that was just fucked, okay? And it just seems to be like this. Now, a final note on that. When you see a group of people together and you see a nasty shit in that group, that doesn't mean everyone in that group's a nasty shit. Okay? It's not just that birds of a feather flock together. It is true, but then you're committing what in social science research is called an attribution error, which is where you look at the characteristics. I suppose it would be the reverse of an attribution error, where you look at the attributes of an individual and apply that to the group. It's like there's going to be significant variation in that group. Okay. I think a big reason, though, I've had all the issues I have is that I involved myself in a cesspit community. I involved myself in a community which was the three worst fucking groups in society: the police, intelligence, and military. And they all fucking clustered at one jiu-jitsu gym. And from then on, my life has been fucking terrible because I've had to deal with these emotionally immature shits. Have a good day, everyone.